Good afternoon. My camera always messes with my head. As soon as I go live, it seems to go all blurry. I'm hoping it isn't actually like that, but maybe it is. But either way, if it is blurry, sorry. Um, I wanted to come and chat to you today about how to stop getting super stressed in this what can be extremely stressful time of year, especially this year with the added bonus of coronavirus and lockdown and all of that fun stuff. But as a mum, as a business owner, Christmas can be wonderful. Hopefully, it is wonderful. I love Christmas, but it's pretty stressful, and it can be very easy for things to kind of get on top of you. So I wanted to come and just share a few tips to stay on top, to stop the stress taking over, and so that hopefully you can still enjoy what should be a happy, relaxing time of year. Hey to those of you watching live, say hello. So let me dive straight in. Before I do, I should introduce myself. If you're new to the page, my name is Colette. I'm a business coach. I work with mums who have service-based businesses. So basically anyone who works with clients. And I help them to find simple strategies that work for them, that work for their business, for their personalities, to get consistent clients and achieve consistent 5k months. And I'm a massive believer that all the strategy in the world won't work if you don't have the kind of mindset in place as well. Running a business um, is is tough and can be stressful, and it's you need like a really kind of strong mindset, and if you don't have that, the strategies just aren't going to work. You need to have self-belief. You need to have some focus, to be consistent, and all of that stuff. So I'm a massive believer that the two go hand in hand, and when I work with clients, we always have that dual focus. It isn't just about the strategy, it's about making sure that you're showing up the way you need to show up, that everything in here is kind of working the way it should as well. Hey, Catherine. So let me talk you through my top tips. So I've got 5 tips for you, and these are all things that I use when I'm starting to feel stressed. And you can kind of tend to see the warning signs, can't you? Everything starts to feel a bit heavy. You perhaps start snapping at people, and you can kind of sense that the stress is on the way. So a few things that I try. Number 1, and this I'm a massive fan of, and that is getting everything out of your head and onto paper, either paper or onto some form of digital paper. And for me, this is so helpful because just going through the process of either writing it down or typing it out makes you put the kind of stuff that's buzzing around in your head into some kind of format. It makes you actually think it through. In order that you can write it out and kind of put form to it, you have to think it through logically. You have to kind of dig into what's actually going on behind that stressy kind of buzzing that's happening in your head. And so just the process is often so helpful. I have a diary. I've written a diary since I was 11, and most days I will write in that. And just that process of going, I'm feeling stressed. Why am I feeling stressed? Okay, this is what's happening. This is all the stuff I need to get done. This is what's bugging me right now. This is what I'm worried about right now. Just that process of kind of getting it out of my head and onto paper is hugely helpful, and it doesn't fail to help you feel better. And I also have a website that also I use for this, which I absolutely love, called 750words.com. And you basically, it's just a free writing website. So you kind of create a login. I think the first month or so is free, and then it's like a $5 a month or something. And it's just such a simple idea. Every single day, you go and you write 750 words, and it sounds like quite a lot. And there are days when you're kind of like, not sure what to write, but without fail, eventually it starts to flow. And the original purpose behind the website was actually for writers, and for kind of creatives, who were kind of feeling a bit blocked, and it helps you to kind of get the creative juices flowing. But actually, it also works brilliantly when you're feeling a bit stressed, when you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, to get everything out of your head, and to kind of force you to kind of think it through. So that's my first tip. Get it out of your head onto paper or into some kind of digital format. My second tip is to plan. Now, I'm a naturally fairly disorganized person, it has to be said. And so unless I plan, I just fall into complete chaos. So I've had to force myself to get into the habit of, like writing lists and planning, and certainly from a business perspective, if I didn't do that, I would be completely overwhelmed all the time. So and it's funny because when we get to that point when we're feeling stressed and when we're starting to feel overwhelmed, it's weird how the stuff that's actually going to help us tends to be the stuff that gets dropped first. So I know when I've spoken to other business owners, and they're in that kind of phase of like being stressed. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. It's all a bit much at the moment. Are you planning? Oh no, I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time. And yet, taking the kind of 10 minutes, a half an hour, whatever it may be, to actually sit and put a plan together, is going to save you so much time and so much headspace as well. So it is so worth it. Now, I have some resources that I use, again from a business perspective, but you can absolutely use these just kind of day to day in your life in general as well. So I have, let me show you. Just really super simple template. This is like a weekly planner, so you can see what it's like: Monday AM, Monday PM, and so on. And on a Sunday afternoon, I will just sit with a cup of tea. I'll go through my calendar, I'll go through my to-do list, and I will plot out the key stuff that I'm doing that week. So Catherine, you will see this week I have Thursday morning, Catherine. And then I also have another template that I use on a day-to-day basis. So at the end of every day, I look at my calendar for the following day, and you can see this is literally split out by hours. So I will kind of go through, I'll check any appointments, any kind of client calls, that kind of stuff that I've got. I'll pop those in. And I look and I think about the things that I want to prioritise. And especially when I'm feeling stressed, especially when things are starting to feel a bit overwhelming, that, above any other time, is the time that I need to prioritise the stuff that's going to help me, and that's going to, stop me from going under. So things like exercise, planning in an early night, planning in a catch up with a good friend, and stuff that I know is going to kind of rejuvenate me and actually kind of fill me up again so that I don't end up completely depleted. And so that's, I make sure I schedule that stuff in so it actually happens, because otherwise, us mums are brilliant at cutting out all the stuff for us, because it has to be all about, the kids need this and the other half needs this, and and it's kind of give, which is lovely, but you have to prioritise some time for yourself, because otherwise you have nothing left to give. So planning is my second tip, and makes such a difference. My third tip is to simply take a break. And when I say take a break, I mean an actual break, and not that trick that we have of like, well, I'm going to take an hour off so that I can go and do the chores, so that I can go and clean the kitchen. That's not taking a break, unless you're a very strange kind of person. So take a break, and it doesn't, I haven't got time to take a break. It doesn't have to be a great big long break. Sometimes just taking 15 minutes to sit and have a cup of tea, can make such a difference. It just gives you some breathing space. And without that breathing space, things will seem overwhelming. Things will start to get on top of you. We all need breathing space, more than we realise, until we actually do it. And then you kind of go, oh, wow, yeah, I feel so much better. So if you can take longer off, take a day off, take a day for yourself, to do, whatever it is that you want to do. For me, it's probably, would be sort of sitting on the sofa, with some tasty snacks, lots of cups of tea, and some good films. I mean, that's my idea of heaven. You know, but whatever that is for you, sitting and reading a good book, whatever, take a break. And you know, and if you're kind of thinking, I don't know when I'll ever have time for it, go back and plan time for it. Schedule out a day off, an hour off, 10 minutes off, whatever it is, take a break. Number 4 is declutter. Now, I'm not a naturally tidy person, it has to be said. So I have to again force myself to declutter. If you could see the floor around me right now, you would agree with me. It's clutter central, and the problem with clutter is it does get in here. And I'm talking, for me, there's kind of 3 types of clutter that can really have an impact on your kind of mental state. So there's the physical clutter around you in your house. For me, in my office, that I need to try and keep on top of, because otherwise it starts to invade, it starts to stress me out. You know, if everywhere you look it's a mess and it's, you know, everything's all cluttered and what have you, it is gonna get in here. The second kind of clutter is mental clutter. So, you know, that can be the stuff, you know, that I talked about in the first point, where you're, you know, there's all this kind of stuff buzzing around, maybe things that you need to remember to do, maybe an argument you've had with someone that's upset you, you know, maybe you're worried about a friend or family that's buzzing around in here as well. Sometimes, you know, just all of that stuff that we keep in our heads, all of that clutter makes you feel overwhelmed. It adds to the stress. And so simply going through the process of kind of filtering it out and kind of going, what is going on? What is this buzzing? What is this kind of heaviness? What is stressing me out? You know, writing it out, typing it out, talking to a friend about it, and just getting it out, it makes a huge difference. So that's the kind of mental clutter. The third type of clutter is digital clutter. So this is like your overflowing inbox, your desktop that's just covered in you know, random documents and stuff that you don't even know what it is anymore, you know, and all of this kind of stuff. Certainly as a business owner, it's not helpful, you know, when you kind of you don't know where everything is, or your folders are out of order, and you know, things aren't in the right folders, and you know, all of this. Again, it gets put off because it's, you know, it takes time to get sorted, but it makes such a difference when you do, and it makes your life so much easier when you do, and it just takes some of that heaviness off. So those are the 3 types of things that I would declutter: the physical clutter, the mental clutter, and the digital clutter. Start with one, just pick one, and see how much better you feel. And then my final tip is to get support, because there is nothing wrong with asking for help. I was chatting to my membership about this earlier in the week, and about, again, I think as women and as mums, we're almost like programmed to feel like we have to do everything ourselves, and that if somehow we can't do it all ourselves, we are, you know, less than, we're you know, not a good mum, we're not a good woman, you know, and it's just such rubbish. And it's so unhealthy. You know, and it's the, you know, the quickest route to feeling dreadful about yourself, and to feeling stressed and guilty and horrible. So let's all just agree that that doesn't have to be the case. We all help other people plenty. It's okay to get help yourself. It's okay, you know, to ask for help, to get support, especially when things are starting to get on top of us. And what that looks like will be different for everyone. You know, it might be getting a cleaner. It might be asking your other half to cook a meal for you, to, you know, take the kids off your hands for a couple of hours so that you can, you know, chill and watch a film and actually have some you time. It might be getting the kids to pick up after themselves and go tidy their rooms, or to help fold the laundry. You know, it could be any number of things. It could be help, you know, chatting to one of your business friends, and you know, perhaps exchanging skills and supporting each other that way. It could be talking to a coach, and getting support that way. There are so many different ways you can get support, but do think about how that could work for you, because we shouldn't be trying to do everything ourselves on our own. You know, getting help, getting support is absolutely not a sign of failure or weakness. In fact, quite the contrary. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign that, you know, you recognise that you know that you need support, and there is nothing wrong with that. So those are my 5 tips. I shall leave you with those. I hope it was helpful. Do let me know. I hope that they help you to have a chilled and relaxed and stress-free Christmas, and that you get to take some time for yourself, that you get to enjoy it with your family, and really, really properly relax, and not the kind of I'm going to go and do chores type of relax that just doesn't seem right to me. Before I go, if you're not already in my Facebook group, do come and join us over there. It's called Fully Booked Mums. We have regular kind of workshops, training. It's for business owners who have service-based businesses. So if that is you, do come and join us. Fully Booked Mums, I'll pop a link in the comments, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.